Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books. Today I want to talk about The Monsters of Chavez Ravine. This is a short story novella size book that was written by Deborah Castaneda. I actually was browsing NetGalley. Sometimes I guess I have nothing better to do, and I browsed NetGalley, and this was a book that was just available. I didn't have to request it or anything, and so I did read this advanced reader's copy for free via NetGalley. However, there is no obligation for me to even talk about it. I am talking about this book because I feel like it engages with really important themes and because the book comes out today. So if you are interested in it, now's the perfect time to pick it up or to add it to your TBR. So let me tell you the premise of The Monsters of Chavez Ravine. If you are from Los Angeles, just the title probably tells you a lot of what this book is going to be about. But if you're not from Los Angeles, the book is set in 1952 in this community in Los Angeles that was a low-income, largely Mexican-American community. And what happens was that people were bought out and forcibly removed from Chavez Ravine because they needed this area for a building project. What the city ended up building there was what became Dodger Stadium. A lot of Dodger fans actually don't know that, or a lot of I guess I was recently surprised to find that all of my students who live and work in Los Angeles did not know this story. I think anyone who's a die-hard fan of the Dodgers knows it because you want to know the history of your stadium. But yeah, so that stadium is built on land that was occupied and where a lot of displaced people were forcibly removed. So this story then is set there in 1952, right at the end of when they've got almost everybody out of that neighborhood except for the die-hard holdouts who own property there and do not want to move. This includes our main character's dad, so Trini's dad, who owns a store there. Trini, however, has moved out of Chavez Ravine. She was never interested, it seems like, actually staying there, but one of the themes in the story is her feeling pulled by her obligations towards her dad, as well as the community, but also being pulled by, like, just wanting to get away from there, wanting to, build her own road and live her life outside of this community. But she keeps getting pulled back in by her father. And that is where the story begins, where Nini is forced to come back to the community to take care of her dad. And the theme that becomes really important is the monsters are real. And this is a theme that I ended up reading in several different books in March. So I read When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, and then Ring Shout by P. Jelly Clark, and they all use that theme. And I really think that it is an effective way of really making the horror that communities of color, that marginalized communities face on a daily basis, especially for readers who might not be as familiar, or for readers that want that kind of political commentary in their books. I'm definitely one of those readers, and I just find this theme so powerful. So in The Monsters of Chavez Ravine, the monsters are real. Like, there are real demons that are haunting what is left of the Chavez Ravine community. And they're terrorizing the community. So then you have the layer of, like, the humans, the politicians that are actually terrorizing this community via their political movements, but then the actual real demons and monsters. The reason I love this theme is because it allows you to talk about the political and social elements, but also because it gives the characters something real to fight. A lot of times when marginalized communities engage with the political world, it's very frustrating because you feel like, how much can one person do up against, generations of systemic racism and ingrained white supremacy? Like, what can one person do against all of that? And in these stories, because the demons are real, it gives the main character something real and horrific to fight. And I just really, really enjoyed the way those themes were interlaid in the Monsters of Chavez Ravine. There's lots of plot, even though it's a short story. It is filled with plot, like from the very beginning, plot, 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 plot. Where like you have to give yourself a moment to like breathe. It was also really scary, and I do tend to read it in the evenings, and I had some weird dreams while I was reading this book. But so if you're not normally into some of those scary supernatural, witchcrafty, demony things, this is probably not the book for you. But if you can handle some of that, I think you will really enjoy this book. One of the weakest parts of the books, though, I felt was the romance. There is a romance thread in this story that is just not very strong. Maybe it's because I'm a romance reader and I feel like, wait. If there's going to be a romance, then I need certain beats to be hit in the romance that were not hit in the story. And so at the end, when you get a coupling, I'm like, no, this is not earned. So that was frustrating, but that might just be me as a romance reader. I require those elements in any kind of romance plot line. Not in every romance plot line, but I definitely felt lacking here. So that, it's not a perfect book, but it is one that I really enjoyed, and I feel that there are a lot of people out there that will really enjoy it. If you like this kind of politics in your books, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about this history, this doesn't give you as much of the historical background as like When No One Is Watching does. That book really does give you history. This book is not going to teach you a ton of history, but it's going to help you understand how it feels like when something like this happens in a community. So I felt like that's the reason you want to pick up this story, because of those horror elements, because of the political commentary, and I think that if you do and you like those themes, that you will not be disappointed. So I will leave some links down below for those of you that are interested. If you have read this book or are planning to read it, let me know down below. If you have other recommendations of books that engage with this theme, also give me your recommendations down below, because like I said, I read several books that engage with these themes in March, and I really enjoyed it. So I want to expand on my reading of that, read a bunch of things, and then come back and talk a little bit more about how authors engage with this theme of like the monsters are real. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.